I'm Rick Mann, and welcome to this segment of Future-Proof Your Strategic Leadership. In last week's opening segment, we defined strategic leaders in this way. Strategic leaders create unique, significant, and consistent USC value for their stakeholders and multiply that value creation through their teams and organizations. In this segment, we will look at how creating unique, significant, and consistent USC value is at the core of all strategic leadership. In fact, it is at the core of almost every relationship. When you provide what others value, others will appreciate what you do more and more. Value creation is almost like gravity. It works with everyone, everywhere, and all the time. In my book, Strategic Leaders Are Made, Not Born, we start with the question, what do you provide that others value? For example, let's say that you have the ability to consistently deliver completed projects on time and on budget. Strategic leaders who do this consistently create value for the people with whom they work. Creating value is not just about work. With all of our Clarion Toolbox tools, we take what we call a PPO approach. Every tool can be applied to your personal life, your professional life, and your organizational life. A key concept with value creation is the fact that value is in the eye of the beholder. Personally, we don't decide what our family members value. Professionally, you don't decide what your boss values. Lastly, organizations do not decide what their markets value. The critical question here is, what do you provide that others value? Personally, you can ask this question with your family and friends. Professionally, you can ask this question with your boss or coworkers. Organizationally, you can ask this with the customers you serve. I remember some years ago when I was working on this material, it was Father's Day. And so I asked a couple of my adult children, what do I provide that you value? You can imagine they were a little caught off guard. One of them said, "Thanks for asking." While a bit awkward, it prompted some very healthy conversation. In my annual evaluation, I asked my boss, what do I provide that you value? And then, how can I create greater value going forward? You don't have to be this direct. Just ask yourself, what do I provide that my spouse, children, and boss value? This self-reflection is a healthy process for all of us. For example, in my personal life, my wife Sherry values spending time with me, exercising, and being outside. Sherry is my most important stakeholder on earth. We will talk more about stakeholders in later podcast segments. I create value for Sherry when we go out for a run. As I mentioned, she values being with me, exercising, and being outside. My evening grad students will often ask me at 10 p.m. when class ends, "Are you going running with Sherry tonight?" My answer is usually yes. It is not because I enjoy running outside at 10 p.m. after a long day, but Sherry values this activity and I value her. When you create value for family and friends, they like being in a relationship with you. When you create value as a professional in your organization, they pay you. When you create greater value than others over time, you will typically have better jobs to choose from and better pay. There is a reciprocal process called destroying value. Think of this like a bank account. Deposits occur when you create value for others. Withdrawals happen when you do things that destroy value for others. Sometimes we withdraw value in small ways. At other times, we destroy value in significant ways. For example, if you fail to show up for a presentation on $1 million project with a key client, this could destroy value with that client as well as with your team. When employees bring more cost than value, they are candidates to be let go. When a friend brings more cost than value by being high maintenance, you are more likely to avoid them. Our goal here in future-proofing your strategic leadership is to add tools to your toolbox so you can consistently add greater value to those around you for the rest of your life. Remember, this tool is like gravity. It works everywhere with all people and all the time. The question here for this tool is, what do you provide that others value? You can start today by looking around you at your stakeholders and consider how you can increase that value that you create for others. With each stakeholder, such as friends, families, and coworkers, ask yourself the question, what do I provide that they value? Going forward, see if you can find ways to add more value to these important relationships. For your organization and company, you can ask the same question. What do you provide for your customers that they value? In our next segment, we will be exploring how you uniquely create value for others. Every person is unique, and the ways they create value for others is unique. Therefore, growing in self-awareness personally and professionally is critical for every strategic leader and will be the focus of our next segment. Thanks again for listening to Future-Proof Your Strategic Leadership as we seek to build the strategic capacity of you and your team.